Okay, this should be working. Okay. Let's start. There we go. Okay. Okay. We will be all right. So we will be working on designing right now. I want to just design the character, some stuff like that. So the yo-yo. Let's start with the yo-yo. A circle, obviously first. There we go. Circle. One circle. Wrong color. There we go. We got our circle. Now, let's just make the background black. Because why not? It makes everything look better, I think. Gonna need to just save the black for later. This is much harder than I thought it would be in my head. Another circle. Actually, no, a better idea is duplicate, and now you have a second circle, same size. That is not what I'm trying to do. How do I move this? There we go. Just think. Yes, have it like that. Oh, I almost forgot. I am Symphony. I will be working on the main character's design of the game I'm making. Can't forget that. Won't forget that next time. All right. Next step. We got 2 circles. Almost a yo-yo so far. Maybe move this like that. Yes, a very thin cylinder is what I've made. Probably should erase this. Yes, it's working. Almost there. Didn't think it would be drawing this hard. Didn't think it would be this hard to draw on a computer, honestly. Okay, so let's make it red. Mess that up. Probably. No, I don't need to do that. Merge. Oh, I have to erase it again. Okay, go back to erasing one last time. And there. Oh. I just fixed that myself. No, wrong color. This is not as good as I was hoping. Okay, good enough. And then paint it red. Left the gap. This is kind of hard. Yes, that'll work. Finally. I have the red circle. Next up, I need to make a rope. But you know, I won't make the rope. I'll just make the circle for now. And I'll work on the rest later. But we got the circle. Make this back area a darker circle. Yes, that works. And then, what kind of brush would work for this? Nope. The rope shall be this color. That's not a good color for this. Yeah, that's a good color, I think. Works well with the plain looking stuff. So, must look like a rope. Definitely not that one. You know what? I'll just use a trick I used to do. That won't work. This is much harder. I keep saying that, but just go with that. I think this works. That is a horrible job. Zoom in. Let's do it again. Okay, that did not work. Did not change the brush. Shrink. I think I made it too small. Yep, I did. This should work. I'm gonna zoom back out. Trace. I need to get better at this. That's not a good job. What is wrong with me? I'll just go with the hand. That'll have to do for now. Next. Let's add a little bit of touch of orange. No, red again. Go with red. And just add that. There we go. Should probably extend the rope. I messed something up, whatever. The brush, there it is. And just long line up. No, that's a horrible job. I will have to do a lot of refixing after this, but we have our first yo-yo. Yes. The first of its kind. Just gonna work on the next one now. And we're back. Okay. Next up, we need to make some levels. What will be a good level? Starters. I want this to look like an area where you would find a yo-yo. I don't want this just to be like random. Just a bunch of trees. You don't really find yo-yos in the woods unless they're just left there. I want something maybe. Let's go with maybe like a bedroom, something like that. With just a small platform for where the yo-yos can be. Then below it, I can have. Let's make this part the bed. So checkered patterned blanket. There we go. I got the idea. Just make a checkered pattern blanket. Yes, that's the first checker. This is not what I had in mind, but reworks after. Just focus on finishing. Almost there. Yeah, so this is calming in a weird way. I have to get better control. There we go. Got it finally. Almost there. Just the final lines. We can all move on with the day. And done. Checkered pattern's done. Let's color it in. Blue. Gonna need a lot of gaps gotta fix. Okay, good to know. There. I have messed this up, I think. This should be fine. There, there, there. And then there, there. That. Okay, no, not that one yet. That one for sure. Okay, now let's fill in the gaps with the lines I've made. What? That was a horrible job. That'll do. Yes. No. Yes. There we go. I did it. I passed the first line of gaps. Now, obstacle number 2. Doing in these awkward places where. Almost done though. And then I gotta worry about any gaps that I can't see. How wonderful. This is getting messy work. Okay, I think that's all of it. Alright, let's go back to filling in the gaps. Oh no, I forgot one spot. Now let's go back to filling in the gaps. The most simple part of this entire thing, filling in the gaps. Possibly also the most calming part about this. Alright, and then we just got this one here that I forgot to cap off. I don't even know what that means. Cap off. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. This one, yeah. Oh wait, I forgot some other spots over here. Alright, there we go. We have our checkered something. I'm just gonna make the whites gray now because I think it looks better for some reason. But even then, this does not help much at all. This, I, this looks kind of weird. Okay, I'm not gonna disagree with that because it does. The background, obviously, I need a window. Because who doesn't need windows in their bedroom, I think? Oh, just a window right there. That's a reasonable size for a window, I think. Then just... How do I draw a blind? I just drag this. Yeah, I think I'll just drag this across multiple times. Yes, this window definitely looks much better than the bed. I will agree to that. So, I don't know what to talk. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to do this. But I got it done just in time. Okay. Blind. Just probably should add some shadow. There we go. Now it looks like a better blind, I think. Should probably also, because you don't always have a blanket like this. It's usually messed up, and you can see a bedsheet or a mattress. The slow process of erasing. That is a. I'm not doing it like that. Let's go to the other eraser and just increase it. I think this looks better, I think. This is probably the most boring stream that I'll ever do. Next one will probably be better, actually. Yeah, I think that's better. It's not really much better, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. Background. Just can't have this white walled. Let's go with black. No, that just makes it look weird. Let's go with triangles. Just add a line from there. Go out like that. Wrong brush again. Just go on like that. Yes. And then another line like that. And one that just goes through the blind like that. That's definitely not right, but it's painted, so it is fine. We can have mistakes. It's like the pencil on the water. You put the pencil in and it distorts it. I think it looks kind of nice, actually. And then end it off like that. Now, what to put in there, you say? Well, I say green because I haven't done any green yet. Just go with different greens, I think. Now the question is, does that mess up with the blanket? It's fine, I think, actually. Besides, I'll recolor it later. And then just end it off these lines. Yes, I think that works better. The lines are definitely being different now, so just gonna give it that. Because it's just getting a bit boring and just too bright. Now we have level 1. Obviously, you need to add obstacles. Probably will add a. Probably add. So what kind of toys or like everyday items that you find in your room could you actually use for this as obstacles? Let's go with a phone. How could it? No, phone's not. That's not gonna work. I got it. Phone charger. Yes, we have the charger just right here. I'm not gonna take the time. I'm not gonna take the time to draw this because I'm not that good of a drawer. But with the phone charger right here, and it can give off an electric current. Actually, is that no? It's not a good idea. Actually, how would that even work? No, let's go with something else. But I think it can. No, yes, it works actually. Considering the lore, the game, charger here, and electric blasts, not blast, but if you go close to it or touch the wire or something like that, you get zapped. Yes, that'll be obstacle number 1, and I can just find a. You only have one charger too, so you need more things than just a charger. What else can I add here besides a phone charger? You got a phone. What else do you have in your room? Maybe a chair. But a chair's not going to be on your bed. Yes, figured out my conundrum. You will move from the bed to a chair. No, but that can actually work as a bed or as a new stage. Yes, because you have to be in the bedroom, I'm guessing, for the game, the entire game. So each different area in the bedroom could be a new stage. Yes, so bedroom, no, the bed is stage 1, and it'll look all sunshine and rainbows, as in like delusion. And then the next stage can be the chair, which will be. I have to brush up on my facts, but I think it is depression. Not 100% sure, but yes, I'll have a chair next. You'll jump from the bed to the chair. If you fall over or hit the ground, a secret level, I think. Yeah, a secret level could work. So there we go. So you go here. I cannot draw on this. Okay, but how can I get this point across? Okay, there, I got it. Figured it out. Okay, well, I'll just use it like this because it works fine. So you start. So if you fall off from here, hit the ground. which will be around here. Yeah, you hear secret level that does not really mean anything. It's probably best to avoid it, but I think I can just have it end with you just getting you lose. It's an impossible fight to win, and then you just get catapulted right back to the beginning, right over here, and then you have to go through everything all over again. And as always, final boss at the end of the stage. So you have the yo-yo boss of stage 1 here. You obviously have like basic skills you can have here. I have to go over again what the skills are. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can obviously just roll. And I think having a basic skill of just like throwing the rope just forward is fine. Yes, that's a basic skill I'll have. And the boss yo-yo can have the skill of what kind of skill can I give the boss exactly? I got it. So it can hook itself to the ground with the rope and then extend itself forward in a flash attack and hit like and basically like a equivalent of a sonic boom for yo-yos. Yes, there we go. That's an idea right there. I'm thinking so smart right now. I've lost it again. Okay, where was I? Right, the sonic boom yo-yo equivalents. Once it does that, you'll have to your only way to beat the boss would be dodging, and while the yo-yo is here, I'm guessing you try to just hit it with the rope multiple times all over. You'll have a set health, I'm guessing. No, what am I guessing? I am gonna put that. You'll have a set health, and every time you hit the boss, you'll take off their health. Why am I explaining basic things? Well, yeah, obviously these basic things. And then what's next? You beat the boss. You will tear out their entire skill and take it while they are disintegrating from life. Yeah, I think that works. Wait a second, I just remembered. This is a spiritual land, right? So why are they all in the original the the player yo-yo the player yo-yo's users room? It's probably a good thing I need to think about just to get things make sense again. I have it. Okay, I got it. I fixed the problem. Spiritual land can be envisioned in any way that the yo-yo sees it, or and is also influenced by where they currently are. So are in this there we are in our we are in wherever we are, which is this bedroom, and then we find a boss yo-yo in the spiritual land that we interact with while we see the bedroom. But that yo-yo won't see this. It'll see wherever it is. Like probably maybe just a park bench if that's where they're having fun. So yes, fix that problem. So next up, you have to jump. So the goal is from here to jump to the chair, and then that's the next stage. Probably this chair will have to be the smaller stage compared to stage 1, considering it's just a chair. But once you beat the chair, you have next boss, obviously, which you have to beat to get to finish the stage. Go to the next level. But what would the next level after a chair? What else do you have? A desk. Let's say that, yeah. Desk works. You have the desk. Desk right here. So you have to jump up using a skill. So what kind of so Yes, got it. So one of the skills you can use, the skill you gain from the boss fight on this level could be to throw the rope and like just bring something, kind of like a grappling hook. It can like a no, a lasso, like from a cowboy. They throw it and wrap something up and pull it towards them. So instead, you use it in an opposite way of you throwing the rope, hooking it onto the edge of the desk, and just bringing yourself up to the top. Yes, that works completely. And the way you can do it to get from here to here is you hook yourself here, you roll yourself backwards, and catapult yourself forward to the chair. Then you move up after that. That's stage three. You need two more now. What can I put for that now? That is the question. We have done chair, desk, bed. What else do we have here? Floor. But I have that secret stage already for the floor, as in you get catapulted to the beginning. But what if? No, you won't be falling to the floor from here because you're not. There's not much gaps you can fall through. So even if you do fall, I think I'll just make it so you come back up immediately. So you fall here. So floor is a secret stage in itself, only in the gap between the bed and the chair. After the after the bed, after the table though, where should we go? Onto the computer on the table, but no, that's not really. It's not really anywhere near. You're just on a subsection of another stage. Let's come back to it. I think actually no. Let's keep thinking about it. Actually, I don't want to come back to it because I don't have anything else to talk about after that. I want it to be something in the house, in a bedroom, right? Could I possibly leave the bedroom and go out into in a normal house? Yeah, we can do that too if we want. Into a normal house setting, just see things. A hallway, doors, different room. We can make that an entire stage. The boss stage could be a different room. How actually no. When you at a higher level of spirit, at a higher level of no, the longer you're in the spiritual land for the yo-yos, the less it becomes about the bedroom. It's about where you are in itself. So we just after the table, it starts to fade away from what it actually from where you are and starts to look more like a spiritual land. But we're already deep into stages. It's only two more, and the last one's acceptance, and the one before that's probably I think it's rage, if I'm correct. So we'll have everything is on fire. There we go. Yes, just have everything on fire. Just let's just replay. Let's just replay the first three stages, or the first two. No, let's do the redo the chair and the table stages, and just have it on fire now. So just flames erupting, and so you'll start. So this is how I think the progression will go. You start here, you move all the way to here. Start here, here. You move all the way here, and then jump over to the chair, and then up to the table, and you end up here. Fight the next boss, and then you move backwards. So stage four will also take stage Stage 4 will take place on the chair and the table together. So this is another stage now, stage 4. And you will catapult yourself somehow back to the bed for the final one as acceptance. But but we can't keep things like how they were. They can't be the same anymore. I'm thinking of just making like very little, like most of it's gonna be white space, I think. Yeah, let's make most of this area white space when you're back at the final stage. Most of it's going to be white space and maybe like hints of what the original space looked like. Maybe like a maybe I can have a small checker pattern, or maybe like some green on the walls in the green space, white space, some green in it. Maybe the blinds, like a snippet of it. Yeah, that's yes. So I figured out the progression of how the game will go. We start at the bed, chair, table, table and chair again, end on the bed. Keep things compact, small. Yeah, that's smart. Don't want this to get too big because I cannot do much. Alright, next up we gotta worry about is. So I got one boss figured out. One boss will probably give the skill of. These are just like placeholders because I have to redo some research and rethink them, create them proper ideas that are actually impressive. But so far, the placeholder I have is to like pin down and catapult, going back and forth. For here, it's to pull something in towards itself. And I haven't figured out for boss 3 yet. What could boss 3 do? Now that's the $1 million question. I know the $1 million question would be what can boss 5 do? Obviously, you're not going to beat boss 5. It'll be more so that you can bring it to the close to defeat, but then you'll just wither away because of wear and tear and plot reasons. Because of course, I can't have everything go well. But boss 4 and 3 need to be figured out. I can leave boss 5 just have the most overpowered thing ever. Let's just go with a. He can do everything. Any skill. He's the master of everything. Because I don't really need a. It doesn't really matter. Because you're not going to beat this one. It's not supposed to be beaten. But 4 and 3, I need to have skills that are high, beatable with the skill set that we already have. And the only reason you're really beating any of them is because they don't want to hurt you much. Because they're nice yo-yos. They don't want to hurt some person. No, these aren't people, these are yo-yos. They don't want to hurt an innocent yo-yo that's just being told to be ended because that's something they don't even know about. There we go. We got the 5 stages planned out. Three boss, two bosses, no, three bosses planned out. Two more to go, meaning, yeah, I'll have to read. I'll have to also fix the first four bosses skill sets completely because these aren't really that creative. I'll have to rework it from scratch just to make it a tiny bit better. And obviously, I think the wall is pretty nice. The green with different shades with black lines separating each triangle. That is an amazing color scheme in my opinion. But then again, I am not a fashion person. I have zero color knowledge. Oh, I just forgot completely. The obstacles for the other stages. So we had a charger here for the chair. We can have maybe. What do you put on? Oh, that yes, the infamous clothes. The extra sweater. Just have a sweater here. What would be the obstacle of having a sweater? Climbing it? No, climbing it's not that much. I have to come back to that, but I think having a sweater just sitting on the chair is a smart idea. On the table, obviously, let's have maybe the most random junk you can think of. Let's just throw everything we have at it. Just some random toys, maybe like a Rubik's cube, some broken stuff, maybe like an extra mouse. A monitor screen probably too is important because who doesn't have a computer by now? Then the chair. What could well, also obviously stage 4 is can have everything on fire. So any stage obstacles that I already had previously will just have the extra element of fire. I can have spilt water somewhere. All right, and if you were to fail this jump from to the chair back to the bed, you will fall down again into a new special stage of the floor, where instead of the just you fight something and it catapults you right back, you are now in a literal land of water. I think, yeah. So fire on the top, water on the bottom. You are now drowning, and ex- you are expertly trying to get back. If you don't, I didn't actually think about if you die in the game. What would happen exactly? Obviously, you have a small cutscene, I think, of saying, of explaining what happens after you die. But what exactly would happen? I think, yeah, you would just wither away like always, I guess, and you disappeared from everyone's viewpoint. You're gone, not extinguished. Bye bye. And to get back up, you would probably use a skill. If you don't do it in time, you drown and you start all the way back at stage one, I think. Yes, because we only have 5 stages, and I'm not making this like the most difficult thing. If you fail a stage, you'll just start all the way back at the beginning. And I think health carries over. Yeah, let's have health carry over. And let's have like a way to gain back health as well. Because if you have like 1 bar of health and you're on like the second stage, then there's no way you're gonna get to the fifth stage without dying. And so you have to all the way back at the beginning, and you don't know how long it's gonna take. So like, way to retain health, regain health. Let's. What could be good for a yo-yo? What's good for any toy actually? Obviously, tape. If you break something, you fix it with tape. So every time you are pretty low, or just have lost anything, you can just find some strands of tape just laying around everywhere. You take it and you patch yourself up. And every time the game progresses, the more tape you have, the more like I'll have like snippets on you, like transparent probably, and you can see the cracks through it. And yes, and if you die and restart the game at the beginning, the tape will come back obviously because you can't just go through. I don't want this to be set. But the real fun is once you get to stage four, any tape that you took on stage two and three aren't there anymore. So if you take all two and three tapes and you go to stage four, everything on fire, and you can't get any more tapes because you've already been to this area. You took all the tape already. Next up. So any tape that now the real question is, should I have any tape here? I'm thinking for the final boss actually, we had just regained all of our health. But we have like there are still signs of wear and tear. Yeah, still signs of wear and tear. So maybe it's like your rope. The rope is unraveling slightly. Like the ends, you have like strands sticking out. Maybe you have like you've you know how you have two circles in a yo-yo kind of like they're kind of just wobbling to the side slightly now. So you have one circle that's gonna go slightly this way, not completely this way, but like just slightly, and you have another one like this, and the rope in the middle. So it's like a kind of like a V almost, like just a slightly. It's not much, but it's it just shows that the middle part's kind of like cracking a bit, and you're starting to just rip open. That'll be fixed by the tape, obviously. Oh yes, another thing we can add is the more like every time you take a skill, it drops your health to a certain level. And if you're already below that, and if you're already like below that level, it just takes down like a certain percentage of it. So if you, let's say you have 100%, I think let's just drop it down to 75. If you're already below a 75, then let's just, if you're already below 75, let's just take off like a 10 health. That way, if you're at like 60, you go to 50. And if you, let's have also have a cutoff so that if you're already at like a pretty low health, you don't lose any health. But we'll also have to like give something. So I'm guessing just if you're at like 5 health somehow, then let's just keep it 5. But the more likely chance, but it's a guarantee that you'll fall into here and get catapulted back. Mm, maybe. No, yes, you'll get guaranteed to fall here. You have to gather your tape, and then you'll get catapulted back, and then you have to go all the way forward again. The boss is already dead. You just have to avoid the obstacles that are already placed there, like the phone charger. If you somehow still do that, still mess that up, you're not gonna die. You'll just be able to get to the end. And if you somehow die, well, you probably will, because this is the first playthrough. But yes, I think that's how the health system can work. So every time you absorb a new skill, you lose a percentage of your health, just to visualize the fact that you're wearing yourself thin. Because continuity. Is this continuity or something? I don't know. I'm just spouting words at this point. So we got the bedroom. But what about the? I saw the idea of like maybe having you go to a different room for the final ending, but I don't really know how that would work for mostly part. Obviously, there's not much you can do. Well, I can, but I don't really have like a solid idea about it. Maybe I can have like an extra area you can just explore, have fun for the game. Like you just can explore. All right, let's have it like this. This entire map is that entire house, but the only area you play would be the bedroom or the stages. To progress in the story, you only do it in the room, and you can exit the room to explore, but you won't gain anything. You'll just learn lore. Let's say that you learn about the owner of the house, the family, the user. Learn about the history and everything like that. Yeah, that's a good way I think to do this. You can leave the room and explore things like family of the user itself, themselves. Yeah, and you'll come back eventually. And when you get bored, you'll just come back eventually and just continue the game until the end. Obviously, you won't be able to explore this if you beat the game first, so you'll have to explore first, and it'll be optional, obviously, because not everyone just wants to explore and have fun. They want to beat the game. So this will also make the game bigger without having too many bosses and making it like this large story. Yeah, I think that works. Yes. Well, wait, that's accident. But I think that's it for now. Um, yeah, let's call it a day for now. I think it's yeah, let's call it a day for the stream. So, let's just go over some stuff I've just gone through. Just planned out how the levels will look, kind of, how some boss fights will go, and how the game will end, and just some extra stuff about that. Some yeah, that's what I've done. I think it was pretty productive considering what the last stream was. And I think next stream, next stream, let's try to, what's the word? Let's actually start with coding. I think I'm gonna start with level building. I'll start with the level building first, and start importing things into the world. And the next stream will probably be on this Sunday, most likely. Things might change though because everything can change. You never know what the future holds in life. Yeah. So, see you on Sunday, maybe. That's the